Welcome to the Five Arms and Lucky Fin podcast. I'm your host, Brendan McCormick, with my co-host, Jason Ide. And we have a UFL tight end joining us in the studio, Clint Sigg. Welcome in, Clint.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all having me.
It is honestly a super honor to have you on and just taking time out of your day to join us, man. And so let's kick it off right away. Obviously, you were born in San Antonio, Texas, a Texas boy. Moved to Colorado. What was your first memory of like truly falling in love with the game of football?
Oh man, ever since I gained consciousness, as they say, man, when you're like whatever, elementary school, that's when I was playing football, dude. I played tackle as soon as I could start. I was too heavy. In Colorado, they had the red stripe rule. So if you were over whatever weight limit, you couldn't carry the ball. So I think I played right guard and middle linebacker until, 7th or 8th grade when they finally took that rule away. And then I switched to quarterback. And man, I've always loved it. And I really loved when I used to play linebacker, man. That was like the essence of football, man. So
yeah. Can you talk about a little bit that transition to quarterback through high school, and then you have a lot of good stats from your high school days. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so linebacker to quarterback. I think my dad was just like, dude, if you want to be the man in high school, play quarterback. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. So I started playing, and it took about a year or whatever to kind of get the feel for things and manage the huddle and run the offense. But then again, it was just Colorado high school football, so it wasn't like I was, playing in Texas in those big college stadiums. So it was really fun, man, just getting the ball every play, being able to distribute it. Obviously, I didn't have the strongest arm, but I was pretty accurate, and I could run as well. So high school was a blast, man. I think our senior year, we went all the way to state. And lost in football and basketball, so it was kind of a bummer. But it was a lot of fun. I was all-state quarterback, and yeah, man, high school was a blast. Like I said, it was Colorado, so it wasn't like top tier, but you still got like the Valor Christians, with Christian McCaffrey, and you got Mullen and some of those Columbine, some of those big schools. So it was a lot of fun.
Can you talk about a little bit of your recruiting process during high school? Obviously, you committed to Davidson. Transferred a few times. What was that like, and what made you commit to Davidson originally?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I wanted to play quarterback for sure. I had a lot of schools, like Power 5 schools, that said you can come to our camps, and if you're willing to just be an athlete or whatever, we'll probably switch you right away to like, linebacker, tight end, or D end. We'll take you, preferred walk-on, whatever. But I was like, no, I'd rather be a quarterback. So I was getting looks from lower-level FCS and D2 schools, and Davidson really sold me on the D1 thing, but I didn't realize that was a non-scholarship league. So I was there for one semester. The bill came, and I was like, I am no longer going to go to school here. So, yeah, it was crazy. So I went back to Sioux Falls. I liked their coach a lot, had a really close relationship with him throughout the recruiting process, and able to make that transition back there pretty smooth. But, yeah, high school, I didn't have a lot of direction with high school recruiting, and I always tell kids now, like, if you guys need any direction, hit me up, tell your parents to hit me up. I'd be glad to tell you what I know, and I know that, it can make a difference hearing it from somebody who's been through it. So
I like to hear that, like you're giving back to athletes and trying to give them advice and stuff that you obviously didn't have that you're giving to others. Talks about your character and who you are, man. I love that about you. Talk a little bit about, obviously, you're this pretty decent quarterback, and then you go to Sioux Falls and you got to completely switch positions. I hear most times quarterbacks play wide receiver, not tight end.
Yeah.
So was it that you were obviously 6'4" and 210? Like what?
I'll tell you what it was, man. Right when I got to college, they have what's called all-you-can-eat cafeteria. So, man, right when I got there, boy, I went from 210 to 240 quick. And it was pretty much good weight. I was like, holy smokes. And then they also had an All-American quarterback ahead of me. Dude was a dog. He was, 6'5", 220, really fast, really good arm. And he was going into his senior year. And I had just redshirted. So I was like, I'm trying to play. And coach was like, well, you can play tight end. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So the transition was smooth, man. Like I had natural hands, route running took a little bit, but wasn't really that hard. Blocking, you just got to be willing to do it. And there's a lot of technical stuff that I didn't understand, but I had a good guy ahead of me for a year that kind of showed me a lot of things. Like when you got a big DN going against you and he's using the straight arm technique, you can catch his hands and replace and get into his chest plate and just stuff like that. So blocking took a minute, but it was all a really smooth transition. It felt very natural. So.
I got a question. Since you were a quarterback and being the quarterback, you're the captain of making sure you know everything about the playbook. Was it easier for you going to tight end to pick up the playbook pretty quick when you got to Sioux Falls?
Definitely. So that reading defenses, understanding how to push into guys' leverage and get separation, because I'd seen that all from the quarterback's perspective. So I knew how to be quarterback friendly, if that makes sense. Like ever since I started playing tight end, just running a stick route, a lot of tight ends will drift at the top and allow a linebacker to undercut it. But I knew, because I'd thrown pick sixes on that you got to come back down at a negative angle to get that cutoff guy out of there. So like stuff like that came natural. So yes, that's a very good point. And the playbook stuff too, like it was pretty easy. So
that's awesome.
You mentioned on another podcast too, I forget which one it was, but I did my homework. You talked about the scheme being a little bit more run heavy than passing. How did that affect like your way in practicing, and also like, okay, I'm not going to get the ball that much. How did that affect you mentally?
Dude, Sioux Falls freaking, I won't even lie. The couple years I started there, they ran me into the ground in practice. I'm talking about like 40 to 60 reps of power in good on good team periods a week. I was like, this is too much. So I was pretty beat up, but always managed to be good for game day. And it did, like, in the back of my mind, I always thought, well, if we establish a good run game, we'll open up play action and I still got a bunch of touches at Sioux Falls. But we also played a lot of schools that we'd jump up by 30 on, and then we're just running the rest of the game anyway. So those kind of pissed me off. But we ran a lot. We had a good running back, good offensive line. But as a tight end, you just got to kind of be a team player. And I'm not the only one who felt that at practice. And it's football, but man, we ran the heck out of the rock, and we practiced it a lot there. So
can you talk a little bit about the workouts? And we're just curious on a little bit of numbers here, like your bench and your squat. It's always curious to us. We had former Indiana kicker Derek McCormick on our podcast, and he said he could bench 225 17 times. And I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm just curious about some numbers.
Peak of mine, on my pro day, I did 22, and it really made me mad because the 2 weeks before, when I was like peaking from the training or whatever, I did 25. I was like, oh, I'm about to crush it. And then my trainer was like, all right, now you take 2 weeks off and go, so you're fully rested. Well, so it was kind of weird. I don't know, but maybe I was just, nervous or whatever, but I got 22 on bench. So I think the max I could probably ever do on bench was during my pro day training, and that was like 350. And then power clean is my major lift. I could hit 315. I could still power clean 315, and that's like my good one. Squat's tough. I got a long back, so maybe like 440, 450. But there was dudes at Sioux Falls, man, like there was this little D back. His name was Tosin. I can't remember his last name, but he had like 700 pounds on, no spot, just nailed it. And so Zach Mathers, he was my strength conditioning coach at Sioux Falls. He's now at Alabama with DeBoer, because he was part of that Sioux Falls connection. And Mathers, this dude, I mean, my very first workout at Sioux Falls was called Stud, squat till you drop. I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. It was a set of 10, and it was all front squat. A set of 10 at 225, and then 8, 6, 4, 2, 1 were the next set and rep schemes. And you would go up and wait every time. And then the last set was a set of 20 reps of front squat at 225. It was unbelievable. So like, you would just these workouts were brutal. That's why nowadays I'm talking to this girl, and she's like, why don't you like going to the gym, every day? I'm like, I did that. If I don't have to work out anymore, I'm not going to be there every day. So it's funny, but
oh my
crazy. The workouts were wild, dude. The winter workouts, oh my goodness. The winter, like those were designed to kind of break you down, the winter workouts. And I had to do, because I was in college for 6 years with my med red and my COVID year. So I had to do 6 winters of that. And boy, howdy, it was tough. So
that had to make you like mentally and physically at tip top shape that I feel like no one could even get to your brain, because you were so like just jacked from that, I'm guessing.
Dude,
like just
physically, like I wasn't scared. I could do whatever physically back then. Like I knew I'd been through the hardest of the hard. I was like, yeah, whatever you got. You send me to the army, I'll go do freaking basic, whatever. But yeah. Nowadays it's like I'm just gonna do when my body feels good, I'll go lift. I play basketball every now and again. But yeah. College.
Can you dunk?
Yeah, still can dunk, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a 2-foot jumper now though, because I'm like 255 now. So I'm scared that if I really try and get high off one knee, I saw a dude blow his knee out. So I'm a 2-foot jumper and dunker now.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, especially like what I've seen with like Derrick Rose. And I
Dude,
told
yeah.
Jason, I said it's only a matter of time before John Morant does his knee like that. Like,
Dude, he gets so high in the air, and knock
yeah,
on wood. But if at this age, if I do something like tear an Achilles or tear an ACL, I'll be so mad at myself, man. Like I'm not playing anymore just to go out and do. Oh, I'd be so mad. So I'm knocking on wood. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
It's like you're just doing it for fun. You're not trying to like put yourself in on the couch for 9 months.
dude, yeah,
Or
exactly. I'm
longer.
trying to enjoy life now. Yep,
Yeah.
vacation and stuff. Not be recovering. I probably wouldn't do rehab if I got another major injury. Be like, nope. So
I'm worried about that just even running because I'm just like I'm 30 now and I'm like, oh, I gotta stretch
yeah.
real quick,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
Make sure you stretch. And if you run, what I do now, I just sprint. I don't really jog, but like I always feel like being on grass or turf is so much better for your knees and shins and ankles and stuff. Like I see people our age nowadays, kind of the cool thing is like running marathons, which you will not catch me doing that. But like because I feel like just pounding your ligaments on the pavement all day would just be tough. But yeah, man, stay on that grass.
100%. I agree with you. Actually, that was a big thing with our cross country coach back in the day. Is that
Yeah.
he would not like even a treadmill or anything. He would be like, no,
Yep.
and get us off. But what was the nutrition plan like that, working all those heavy workouts and things like that? Like, how many calories were you consuming in a day? I'm just curious.
Gosh, man, at Sioux Falls, well, they had that all you can eat calf. So I'd go there. So they had like cereal, they had all you can eat burgers, and I would first go to like the main stations, like that's the one they change food on every day. And then they had this thing called the exhibition station. And it was funny because one time they had these little chicken Caesar salads, they put them on this little plate.
Yeah.
And I'm on like my third one, and I go back for my fourth, and she's like, "You again?" I'm like, "Hold on a minute." I got to call somebody and report you. You can't be telling me that. She tried to cut me off. I said, okay.
Cut you off on Caesar salad.
Dude, I know. This is the best exhibition station ever, man. Didn't matter what it was. Barbacoa, freaking sloppy joes. I was eating it, man. So I can't remember how many calories, but I know I finished every meal with ice cream and cereal and cookies. So
I had to be at least 4 then, I'm guessing.
Oh, at least 4.
Eating all that.
Yeah.
But you're burning it all off. So
yeah, exactly, man. And it was crazy because then, like in college, dude, I could go out, drinking 3 nights in a row and still be good for lift practice games. It didn't matter. Nowadays, if I'm not eating exactly right, I'm like, dude, I'm out for a week. You know what I mean? Or if I go out for a night of drinking now, I'm like, oh, I'm hungover for 4 days. It's crazy.
right.
I believe it. What was transferring like in that process to Lindenwood? Was it that easy of just, hey, I'm going to go there and finish up my career? Or was it like a specific coach or?
Yeah, Lindenwood was smooth. I think so. It's kind of crazy. When I was leaving Sioux Falls, the coaches there obviously didn't want me to go, and so I played my 4 games. And you could play 4 until you had to decide to take a med red. So I'd made that decision, had a tough conversation with the coach and AD and everything. And I knew Coach Stugart from Lindenwood. He was the Sioux Falls coach who recruited me there to start, and then he left. And I saw they just put on All-American tight end. I was like, oh, let me go there. So that transition was smooth, man, because I was a 5th year. Making friends was fine. The one from Davidson to Sioux Falls was a little scary because I hadn't transferred yet. Didn't know anything about it. Had never been to South Dakota, but that went great too. So, and the second one from Sioux Falls to Lindenwood was a really good decision for sure. So,
was it really hard? I'm just looking from the human aspect because I feel like a lot of people don't think about that, especially a young kid just transfer around. Now it's like the norm. People just go wherever they want. Was that really hard to build, like, just even friendships in general with other people just transferring around? And, like, how did you kind of, like, cope with that as, like, a college kid? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, somewhat. But the nice part about being part of a team is, like, the second day I got there, you're working out with that group of guys. So you're automatically having to go do stuff with them. And then you're, waking up at 6 a.m. through those grueling workouts. So, like, you're automatically – you're going to calf with them, going to class. So it's like you're automatically bonding, even if you didn't want to make any friends, you're gonna. So it was, and I was nervous about it at first, but when you're part of a team, man, it makes it real easy.
I bet. And then your senior year or your last year in college at Lindenwood obviously kind of had one heck of a year. Walk me through that year a little bit, and what was it like? When did you finally have that thought, okay, maybe I can go do this professionally?
Yeah, so Man, I had a decent year on paper, but believe it or not, I didn't practice at all that whole year because I had such bad Achilles tendonitis. So like what Christian McCaffrey had this year that he had to sit out from, I had that because I was doing so much in the summer. And then, of course, right when camp rolled around, I'm like, dude, I can hardly walk. So like I took all of camp off, didn't practice at all, and somehow still played pretty well. But that was frustrating. That was kind of a self-inflicted deal by me. I was just trying to do too much before the season. But it was a fun year, man. And I think kind of like game 6, probably I saw I was tracking pretty well statistically. My ankles were starting to feel better. And I was like, yeah, I could probably give this a run. So, but before that, I had always, like, I know if I would have been healthy that year and really, got to tip top shape, I probably could have made it. But I had a good pro day. I just didn't get any NFL camps, but it went how it went. And I'm glad that it went that way. So
I got another question.
let's hear it.
How did we just end up hurdling people? I got some highlights here for our YouTube viewers.
Dude, when I get the ball in my hands and I'm running towards a guy that's a lot smaller than me, I don't know why, it just seems natural. Rather than for me to try and get low and put a shoulder, it's like I'm just going on top, So, and if anybody watched film on me, they know that if they see me in the open field, just stand straight up, like you're gonna go low. You'll catch me in the air and I'll probably break my freaking neck. But yeah, I don't know. That was the move that came to mind.
I'm gonna roll the first hurdle here. Let's see it.
This one was sick. This one was clean, actually.
All right. Oh, wide open. Yep.
Nope. Yeah, that was clean. I saw that dude at the CGS All-Star game. And he was like, bro, you hurdled me. I was like, oh, that was you. He knew exactly who I was. I saw him. I was like, oh, yep, now I remember.
That's a funny moment. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, we got a second one here. We got a second one. I think this one's pretty clean too.
Oh, yeah. This was the first play against Quincy. And
running down the middle of the field. Bro.
Man, I'm surprised I didn't get hurt doing that. Golly.
I was actually thinking that.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of pro footage before we head into the pro career talk. But let's play this one real quick.
Yep. Golly, man. He stood straight up, man. He clipped me. He got me.
Do you ever get scared you're going to just come down on your head?
Yeah, I have came down on my head before. So in my highlight tape at Sioux Falls, dude, I don't even think I was trying to hurdle, but somebody clipped me and I landed on my head and like pogo stick. Dude, my neck was sore for 2 months. I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow. I thought I was going to die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that hurt so bad.
But then you kept doing it though.
I know, right? Didn't scare me off all the way.
Nope.
So, yeah.
He said, I got a helmet.
You're right. I need a neck brace next time.
Has any coaches or coordinators been like, hey, you probably like shouldn't jump over people? Like,
man, if I'm getting extra yards, they usually just say, good job, hold on to the ball. I remember Eric EP from Houston both years. We were watching film. He's like, Sig, what do you think of your hurdle? I was like, I thought it was fine. I did too. You got some extra yards, held on to the rock. I was like, all right, EP, you're good. I'm good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we transitioned from Lindenwood after the end of the season. What are some thoughts going in your head? How do you end up playing in the USFL?
Yeah, so it was kind of funny. I ended up signing with an agent pretty shortly after my season. Went to the College Gridiron Showcase at CGS. I'd say it's like one tier below like the Reese's and the East West Shrine and those. It was a good game for sure. So I did that and then went out and did my pro day training in Arizona. I had a really good pro day, man. I thought I wish I would have weighed in a little heavier. I don't know why. I must have been nervous that morning, but I was only 242 and usually I'm like 250, 255. So, but I ran well, jumped well, benched well, ran routes well, did everything well, and just didn't get picked up. And it was funny. I had taken a job freaking selling insurance, as stereotypical as that is, man. I was like, I got to do it. So I was doing that, man. I was fully over football, and me and my girlfriend at the time were sitting on the couch, and I see a call from the GM, or I didn't know. Hello, this is Clint. Hey, this is Bob Morris of the Houston Gamblers. How you doing? I was like, oh, hey, good. He's like, you want to play football still? I was like, hell yeah. So he's like, I want to sign you. I'll send you over the paperwork. I was like, sweet. So it was completely out of nowhere. It was funny. It's like right as I decided I'm good, not playing football, I'll be fine. Then it came back to life. So it was crazy. But yeah, started training again and packed myself up that March and was out of there. So
it's crazy
That's
how
awesome.
fast like that decision moves. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
I accept it. Like, got to move my stuff. Like, you know, was
Dude,
it just an apartment you moved into? I'm assuming then.
Yeah, yep. But I mean, throughout my life to this point, I haven't really set down roots anywhere. Like I've obviously lived in Memphis, Dallas, St. Louis a couple times, Phoenix, North Carolina, South Dakota. So like my whole life has been just picking up and going. Like I don't have any of my own furniture or anything like that. So if somebody called me right now, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll be there in 6 hours, you know? So it ain't no deal to me. So
Yeah. What was it like? I mean, obviously being on the road and things like that. Was it tougher? You're just like, I'm used to this. Like, I've done it all my life throughout my career. And
yeah.
explain that. I'm just curious, like, what life is
Yeah.
like on the road.
Believe it or
for a
not,
USFL
actually,
player.
right now I feel more anxious and kind of stressed than I ever have because I'm actually sort of settled down here in St. Louis, and I'm like, I was driving around today, like, golly, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, I just want something to do. But
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed picking up and moving around. It was fun to be able to see some different places and do some different stuff. And I'm kind of looking to see where I want to go next. So it probably won't be with football, but we'll see. But yeah, it was never really mentally straining. I always kind of enjoyed it actually. So.
What was your favorite part or game or moment about playing in the UFL and USFL?
Yeah. It was probably actually that game with the hurdle. So that game, I think it was like week 6. And I think we started off 1-2. So like not too good. And then we won like 5 in a row and we're up at the top of the South Division. And it was that game. I think I had 5 catches that game and played really well. And my grandparents came in to see me. My parents were there. You know, we went out in Memphis the night after with all my teammates. So like probably that game, to be honest. We had some other games though. The USFL was cool because you got to travel with your hub city team to the cities. And then if you played before them, you got to hang around until they were done and then fly back together. So like we went to Michigan, played at 11 a.m. We're done at 2 p.m. Memphis didn't play till like 7 p.m. So we got the whole rest of the afternoon to just do whatever. And our plane, left at like 11:30 that night. So we're all, we hit the gambling spot. We went and got drinks. We went to Tin Roof. We all came back to the plane, on our level, trying to maintain. And we did that in Ohio too. So that was a lot of fun, because it's all your friends and you're just out in the city. You just got paid and you're feeling good. So yeah, those were fun times too.
Just a boys' day.
That's right. Boys' day. And one of them was actually, we got from 3 p.m. Saturday until like 2 p.m. Sunday off.
Oh my
so
gosh.
boy, we made a weekend out of that one.
That's a whole vacation.
Dude, so fun. Yeah. So
did any of your like friends or family ever be like, why are you playing in the USFL? Like, why don't you just be done?
Yeah.
Like,
and so that initially when I told my parents I was going to play, they're like, why are you doing that? And I was like, well, I looked it up and it's, it's good money and I just want to play football again. Like I miss the team camaraderie that, practicing every day, working out with your teammates every day. I miss that stuff. So I'm super glad I did it because I actually had some feedback from some people that was just that. Why are you doing it? Like, I'm going to do it for sure. And I'm glad I listened to my heart on that one. So
he said,
you don't have to answer. What was that?
Oh, I was going to say, he said, I don't want to sell insurance anymore.
That's right, man. I'm done freaking trying to sling insurance, dog. Couldn't do it.
What'd you do? You go up to your boss and you say, hey, I'm going to play football. See you later.
I don't even know if I told his ass. I think I just turned my phone off and was out of there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the way to do it.
That's right, man. Ghost. Yeah.
He said he saw him on TV one day. He's like, wait a second. Did that not work for me?
Oh, so funny, man. Yeah. No, I just called him, was like, yeah, I'm going to play football. He's like, all right, I wish you the best. So that was that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Now I lost my train of thought after that because I had me laughing so much. You mentioned about pay actually is what I want. You don't have to answer this. Could you give me like a range of what a UFL player makes? I'm just curious.
You cut out there for a second. I think my Wi-Fi was off, but did you say how much we make?
Yeah, you don't have to answer
how much
specifically.
you made and how much you gambled.
Yeah. No, I did gamble a little bit. So we made, I think the first year our game checks were $5,500 a week. So it was $55,000. Then we got paid like $4,000 over camp. And then we got paid $1,500 a month for housing, which you could save a lot of if you bunked up with somebody. So you walk out of there, $65,000 richer in 10 weeks. And it's like, I don't know, for 10 weeks of work, it felt really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. Especially because you get to stay in shape too. And everybody wants to stay in shape. So,
dude, yeah. All you had to do, I mean, we had meetings in the morning. Camp was like 3 weeks, and camp is camp. Like you're there to work, whatever. And then once they cut down to the active roster, like you meet in the mornings. We practice, I think, at like, did we have the early practice? Yeah, we had the early practice. We practiced like 10 to 12, did a couple meetings, and then like 1 p.m. we're off. And like the later and later the season got, Coach CJ, he's the freaking man. He'd be like, I don't want to work you too hard today. Like, we're going to take practice nice and easy, and then you guys go, get food, enjoy the day. So like 2 p.m. and on, you're just chilling anyway. So like it was really fun.
it's a good time.
Yeah.
When you're not playing football, what do you do to recharge during that middle of the season? Like not practicing,
fishing.
not
Fishing. Yeah. So in Dallas, with the other tight end, Braedon Bowman, with the Roughnecks, that's my dog. We lived together, and I never thought I'd meet a guy who likes fishing more than I do. And he was that guy. So we would get on Google Maps and we'd just check, like, they'd be like these urban creeks, maybe there's fish in there. We'd go and just slam them, dude. And that was like every day we go fishing. So it was fun.
Do you go fishing and then you eat them? Is that what you like? No, just release them.
Yep. So
what makes fishing so much fun? I'm just curious. Is it just like the jams, like listen to music, just like
no,
so the vibes?
It's funny that you asked, because this was talking to this girl, and she was like, why do you like fishing? Like, what, isn't it just you're waiting there and then like drink beer? I was like, no, because the fishing I like to do, you're like constantly trying to figure out exactly what they're biting on, where they are, what they're doing. It's you're casting the whole time, and it's just something for me where I can turn my mind off and just kind of lock in. And then when you get that that bite and set the hook, dude, it's adrenaline. You guys, if you haven't fished, you should give it a shot. It's so fun.
Oh, it's difficult for me. I gotta.
He's our lucky fan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's how we came up with the name. Was actually
I was gonna ask. Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. I was like, what does this mean? But that makes sense.
We've tried, like, I thought about making like a big promotional video about it, to be honest, like produce and everything, because like a lot of people don't get our name, like, and they think it's like odd, and I'm like, I keep telling people like, no, it's because we have our lucky fin, like it's Jason.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Brendan, I was about to say, look, that's why the thing under my name says Lucky Finn. I just realized my one hand baller has 3 L's, and that's probably been there for weeks.
Baller.
I came up with that. So I played basketball in high school, and so when Instagram came out, that was 2010 and 11. That time when we were all getting on it, I was like, man, what should my name be? I gotta think of something cool, and that was what I came up with, and it just stuck.
Dude, yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys should do a little like promotional deal, like you were saying about why this is our name. That'd probably be smart. You guys, that'd probably get you a bunch more followers and stuff. I don't know Instagram that well, but
I'm trying to figure it out. It is a beast. I still don't. Trying to get people to like listen and follow and whatever. It's just social media in general.
It's tough. Yeah,
it's a different beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize. It's funny because you don't realize how much of a grind it has to be, and how different it is when you are just a person trying to troll people and say stupid stuff versus actually trying to be serious and almost get people to see what you're doing and market it. And Brendan's heading that up, and that's just sometimes it's like, Brendan, how long have you been doing this today? And he's like, you don't want to know. Don't worry about it.
Well, keep at it, because do you guys know XFL Analyst on Instagram?
Honestly, no. I'll be honest.
So he's young. He's like 21 or something, but he's been doing it since he was 13. And just the last couple of seasons, he went from, I don't know, like 1,500 followers to like 40,000, and he's going to games and meeting players and stuff. So it took him a while, but he was just on it every day. He does it all the time, and he finally kind of blew up. So I don't know.
Yeah. Awesome. That's what I've been telling our team. Like, just upload the content. Like, don't try to be too, in your head about it. Just post what you want it to be. Be professional. And that's kind of how we got here and who we've had on the show. And honestly, like I've been pretty happy with the results. So
Yeah.
it's just another beast. But
It's definitely. I was gonna say it's definitely a grind.
Yeah. Gotta be.
What are we bumping pregame?
I had a little bit of Kodak, a lot of Wiz Khalifa. That was like the dude who was hot when I was in high
Black
school.
and yellow.
Yeah, Wiz. Yeah.
So I still listen to a lot of Wiz. I had some Migos, had some 2 Chainz, had some Future, had some Kevin Gates. I'm trying to think what. Oh, Tech Nine. Tech Nine was actually my like number one song that I would listen to. Yeah, Worldwide Choppers every game. Yeah.
We love Kevin Gates.
Yeah, Gates. Yeah, he's a good one, man.
Saw him so when I was at LSU. I saw him. He came and did our we every year they do one of those concerts that they put on for the students, and he came and did it one time, and it was fun. It was a good time.
Dude, nice. Yeah, Gates is awesome.
There's one guy that me and Jason love, and I don't know if you've heard. You probably heard of him. Boozy Badass. You've heard of him?
Boosie Boo. That's my other dog.
Little Boosie.
Yeah, My Struggle. That's a good one. Bankroll's a good one. I listen to a lot of Boosie. Yeah.
Crayola.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Are you guys from Louisiana, or did you just start listening to Boosie from?
I am. I grew up outside of Baton Rouge. So.
Oh yeah, that's your dude then. Yep, that's awesome. Yep.
Jay put me on a little Boozy, and I've been bumping him. Crayola, Crazy
for a year.
Crazy goes hard.
Funny.
I'm just saying.
That's a good one. The one's like my life been crazy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Long clips and choppers.
I haven't heard that one. What I learned
from dude, the album. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's something about the adventures of Boosie, I think is what it is. It's him with it's red, and if you look up Boosie's albums, it's the one that's red. Yeah. And that one is the one that I listened to all the time when I was playing basketball in high school. And and whenever Brendan and I lived together for a year when we met in Dallas, and it was during the NFL playoffs. And we were just getting into it. Every morning we'd wake up just playing that same song over and over again.
That's awesome, dude. Love Boosie. He's good, man. I'll have to listen to that one.
That was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, but did not like that. So
she didn't like Boosie as much?
She was not a fan.
She put him on her do not playlist, and I was not happy.
Oh man.
Don't worry. Somebody went up to the DJ and still told him to play Wipe Me Down, and he did.
Yes, sir.
It was lit.
I wanted Set It Off. That's the only song I wanted. Like Set It Off. Like that is like I could be wherever, like in the mall, working.
Brendan sometimes he'll just take a screenshot of him listening to it and send it to me. Just random. It could be like 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's just like, all right, Brendan.
He's like, Jason, it's time to set it off this afternoon.
Exactly. He's like, it's time.
It's time. You know what time it is. That's funny.
Yep.
Clint, I like to have a little fun, so I know this is irrelevant to football. I'm a big foodie. You've been around a few cities. What are your favorite restaurants, man? I'm just curious.
Dude, I as bad as it is, I eat so much fast food. The number of Dave's doubles I've had from Wendy's is just foul. I like fast casual though too, like Panera, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. Like I spend so much money on those. Panda Express, delicious. I'm trying to think of like city specific. Dallas had some decent. What they have? Hawaiian bar. They had a lot of Hawaiian barbecue places around there that I kind of liked.
Oh, is that Hawaiian Bros?
Yeah, that's one of them for sure. Check my Uber Eats history. You're gonna see a lot of that on there for sure. And then out in St. Louis, they got good barbecue. They got toasted ravioli. They got pretty good Italian near where I live. So yeah, toasted.
I did hear about that. The ravioli, the Italian, like the little area in St. Louis that is like the big Italian spot.
Yeah, it's called The Hill. It's like 5 minutes from where I live. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Italian food.
Yeah, no, it's so good. So yeah, man, I would say if I had to put like my favorite ever though, probably terrible, but fast food's got to be McDonald's. Like after a night of drinking, after whatever, it's McDonald's, bro.
McDonald's?
Yes.
What do you get the McDouble and then
McDouble, add mac sauce, 10-piece nugget, spicy chicken, fries, and then probably another McDouble.
I was gonna say, do you? I remember when I was younger. I don't remember what we called it. It was like where you took the McDouble and the spicy chicken sandwich. And
I
you put
remember
them
what they
together.
called it, but I can't say it on. I can't say it on here. But yes, I have.
It was good.
It was really good. Yeah. Yep.
I really don't
Definitely can't say it on
remember.
here.
I don't think I want to know.
You remember what it's called too? I know you do.
We can talk about it after we stop
I'll
recording.
tell
I
you
don't know.
later. Yeah, I don't want to say it on the pod, but
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good.
Yep.
one of the last questions I have about football, Clint, just
Yep.
one of the last questions is, was there? I don't want to say a specific moment, but was there a point where you knew, like, okay, it's time to hang it up? It's time to move on
Yeah.
from
It was
football.
really kind of an emotional day. Honestly, it was my last game last year. We were playing Memphis, back in Memphis, and I knew that
Mhm.
city really well because I lived there the previous year. And I could just kind of tell through the meetings and through the night before and the pregame and everything, listen to music on the bus. I was kind of looking around, taking it all in, like, yeah, this is going to be it, man. And that was emotional, but it was good because my whole family was there. It was a fun game. It was a nice night, but yeah, I knew at that point, and it was kind of sad because they called me back this year, man. And I kind of wish I would have gone back. They called me in the winter and like, hey, dude, you want to come play again? I know. And whatever reason, I wanted to just, because I'm kind of settled into my job now. I was like, I'm good. I'm 28. And then I watched him play really well this year. I was like, damn, why did I go back, dude? Oh, man.
Could have had more hurdle highlights.
Dude, I know. Exactly. And I'm actually healthy this year, too, of course. When I don't need to be healthy, that's when I'm always healthy is how it works out. So crazy.
If you don't mind me asking, what are you doing now? You don't feel like
Yeah, I sell industrial paint. So I go to manufacturers of different things, and it's like direct to metal paint. So it's interesting. It's still sales. I'll probably just stay the sales route. So
Look, my brother is trying to get bigger into sales, and I'm not in this. I'm not in sales, but I keep telling him whenever he gets into it, I said it doesn't matter what you start out in. Just go off and do it, and your numbers will speak for yourself.
that's
So
right.
any motivation I could give him that you have.
Make them an offer they can't refuse. I'm just kidding. No, I would say, kind of like you said, man, whatever field you go into, whether it's sales, whatever, sales can be kind of scary because a lot of positions are mainly commission. So you kind of got to grind to freaking eat. But the one I'm in right now is good base, good commission. And if you start out in a sucky sales job, which I've done a few of, I've freaking sold internet in Walmart. I did like supplemental insurance sales, which was a grind. And now I'm in a good sales job, and it's been 2.5 years. So like you can move up the ranks pretty quick. So tell him if he's got to take a sucky one at first, do it, get it on the resume, do it for a couple months or whatever it is, put it on the resume, and then you'll just be able to work your way up from there. So
Good. Thanks. I'll let him know because I know he's had that problem, right? He sold I think he was selling phones at Walmart at one point. So it's funny that you said Walmart and internet because he's like, man, this sucks. Like, what am I doing? And it's like, yeah, you're gonna have those moments in your career.
You are. Yep. I did that exact same thing, bro. Selling Spectrum. It was like internet, phone, TV bundle or whatever. You're literally in Walmart, like trying to get passerby. Hey, what do you have for internet? Like it was brutal. But you do that for however long, and then you just move up and up and up. But you got to start somewhere.
Yep.
just got to get started. That's part of what I always say. Just got to get started.
That's right.
Is coaching a possibility, Clint, or is that
yes
off the table?
So a couple months ago, actually, Lindenwood offered me their tight ends job, and kind of having regrets about that now too. But actually, I'm not. I like my job, and I told my current job, I said, hey, I'm going to give you guys my all for a couple years at least, and I wanted to stick to my word on that. But possibly after, coaching is tough because you could get kicked around a lot. You could have to go to a bunch of different cities, and I'm kind of at a spot where I want to settle down a little bit and find a wife and have kids and stuff like that. But right now, I'm kind of getting the itch of like wanting to get back out on the road. So I don't know. We'll see about coaching. I'll definitely, if I have a son and he wants to play football, I'll definitely coach him in middle school and probably high school. So
I love to hear that. I just had my first one, and I don't know. I'm a little scared to coach, man. It's a lot of parents and drama, and I don't know.
It's fun, Brendan.
Dude, yeah, I would do it. Congrats on the kid, first of all. And second of all, I would do it for sure. You probably know more ball than all the rest of the parents, and they're going to say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, they're not out there coaching. And that's the end of story.
Yep.
I like that. I like that answer. I should just do
I
it. Anyway.
referee a lot, and I have to deal with the parents too, Brendan. So it's like you'll be all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's just part of the territory, I guess. What do you want to be remembered most from your football career, Clint? I'm just curious.
I think probably the connections I made with my teammates, man, how I treated people. I like to think that I treated everyone from top to bottom in the program the same, tried to always take underclassmen under my wing, tried to befriend everybody I met in the UFL and the USFL, and just try to be a good teammate. You know, you want to be a cheerleader as much as you can, even in like 7-on-7 in the dog days of camp and the hard practices. You got to be the guy that's bringing the energy, bringing the juice, encouraging guys. And I hope that's what I was remembered for.
Well, you're one hell of a person for having this little mini podcast. So I think highly of you. I'm just saying.
Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, that means a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you on social media, Clint?
So Instagram is at Clint Sigg, CLINTSIGG. Twitter might be at Sig Clint, and then Facebook Clint Sigg. So follow me on the gram though, for sure. Yeah.
Go follow them, guys. Go follow them. Well, we appreciate your time, man. Thanks for coming on. And if you guys want more content like this, just go to our YouTube page, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, guys. Peace.